Story: Apartment 13. I never believed in superstitions. No jinn, no spirits, no voices coming from nowhere. I believed in only one thing: everything has an explanation. That's why I accepted the apartment offer so easily. An old building on a quiet side street, 4th floor, apartment number 13. The realtor smiled strangely and said, "This place is cheap because no one ever stays long." I laughed. I thought it was a dark joke. I signed the contract. The first night. At 2 a.m., I woke up to a faint sound, as if someone were slowly dragging a chair across the tiles. I opened my eyes. The room was dark. The air was cold. The sound was coming from the kitchen. I got up quietly, walked barefoot, and opened the kitchen door. No one was there. But the chair wasn't where it should be. It was flipped over and pushed into the middle of the room. I told myself, maybe I moved it before I went to bed, and I went back to sleep. The third night. I started hearing whispers, not real words, just breathing near my ear, as if someone was standing right behind my head. I would turn around fast and find no one. Sleep began to abandon me. The old neighbor. One morning, I ran into an old neighbor on the stairs. He stared at my face for a long time, then whispered, "You live in apartment 13? I nodded. He swallowed and said, "Be careful at 3 a.m. I asked, "Why?" He didn't answer. He went inside his apartment and shut the door. 3 a.m. On the 7th night, I woke up suddenly. The clock in front of me read 3 o'clock exactly. Suddenly, I heard knocking on the apartment door. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. I stood up, my hands shaking. I looked through the peephole. The hallway was empty. I opened the door slowly. No one. But on the floor, there were wet footprints. They started at my door and led inside the apartment. I followed them. They entered the bedroom and stopped right beside my bed, at my pillow. The camera. The next day, I bought a small camera. I mounted it in the living room, aimed at the kitchen door and bedroom, and I went to sleep. The recording. In the morning, I played the footage. At 2:59, everything looked normal. Then, at exactly 3, the bedroom door slowly opened. Something entered. It wasn't human. It was a black shadow, faceless. It stood beside the bed, leaned over my face. Then, it suddenly turned toward the camera, as if it knew it was there. The recording cut off. The truth. I went to the realtor, furious. I showed him the video. He trembled. Finally, he said, 10 years ago, a man named Hossam lived there. He died in his sleep at 3 a.m. And since then, no one stays in that apartment for more than a week. I asked, why? He lowered his voice. Because he still wakes up every day at the same time. The last night. I packed my things immediately. Before I left, I heard a whisper behind me say, "Why did you leave so early?" I turned. I saw no one. But the clock read 2:59.